And then when I got her really wound up one day, I said, what's God saying to you? I got this loving response. You know God doesn't talk to me like he does to you, so why do you keep asking me these questions? You know God doesn't talk to me like he does you, so why are you asking me all these questions? And then one day I said to her, honey, what are you sensing? And she goes, and I go, look, God said this. She goes, oh, maybe I am hearing God. Because it's a different way, it's a different terminology, it's a different expression. She senses things. She knows that. God's wider like a 16-lane highway of sensitivity. It's a real pain at times. But you know, there's me on my little dirt truck, you know, going along. But that's how we're wired. Now, I've had to so now we've learned the language. So I said, what are you sensing? This isn't good, or that's really good, or I'm feeling this. It's learning how God speaks to her. So I will get into a place where the Spirit will just fall on me and I will prophesy. You've been here when I've called the angels to come and they come. The atmosphere shifted. You've seen that work. But that's just an authority I have because of the office I hold. And where God puts us into the place of an office, or to steward a revelation or insight, it carries such a great anointing. You see, let me put it this way. I can soak in all Jack Frost's teaching on the Father heart and glean a huge amount. I can take all Joseph Prince's material and glean all this gospel of grace and all this stuff and glean a whole lot. And I can release both messages out across the world in places they will never go to, or to people they will never hear. But I'm not Jack Frost, and I'm not Joseph Prince, and I don't have the entirety of everything they carry, because they're in specific, Jack's in heaven now, but they're in specific offices, and as much as I have authority in one area, they have the entirety of the authority available to them in this kingdom, in that place that God's elevated them to. That's why you can't be the person sat next to you. Because it's the core of their calling. And yes, you know, Jack can be this sea captain, he can sail to Antarctica, he can have this media resource and everything else, but the core of his calling is the Father heart message. Joseph can be into media and TV and author and publisher and everything else, but the core of his calling is grace. He can't be me, and I can't be him. And that settles this whole issue of competition amongst each other, because we need each other. I need both of them, and believe it or not, they don't know it yet, but they need me. And that's where we are. Now, the questions about how do you hear God? If we've been doing the revelatory school for 2 weeks, and this is what we were saying in the car coming in, it literally takes 2 weeks to get you from where we are, or the basics of it, right the way through to understanding the whole angelic realm, dreams and visions, translation, transportation, open-eyed visions, closed-eyed visions, you know, the still small voice, discerning, I mean, all of that. And here's the challenging part. Some of you, if you're anything like me, he'll talk to you in 2 or 3 different ways. So I can go in and God will talk to me out of Ice Age. If you want to know the Father heart, go and watch Ice Age 3. If you want to understand about DID, go and watch the first of the Born Identity movies. If you want to understand this, you know, the Kingdom of Darkness, this second heaven and first heaven, go watch the first of the Matrix movies. Now you may go, oh, they're all horrible. Well, yeah, okay, but they all speak to me. Because I'm perpetually looking for God to speak, to show me things. So we go to see Ice Age and he shows me the end times of a trailer for a demonic film. I know I'm not advocating anybody goes. I've said this 4 or 5 times since Thursday. I'm not advocating anybody goes to do it. But in some ways they're more ready than we are. for what's about to come. And so, if we'd have done it, we could have done some exercises that would have gleaned out how you hear from God. And shown different ways. So, do you dream? No. Okay, so he's not going to talk to you through dreams. Some people love the word so much. Some people love the word so much that God constantly speaks to them out of the word. So that's a way. Can't really go wrong. It's the centrality of God, it's the centrality of everything. The cross and the word. And some like me are really visual. You know, Isaac Newton, as a prophet, everybody thinks he was a scientist, but he was a prophetic voice. Sits under a tree, watches an apple drop, and God talks to him about gravity. And now everybody knows it's Newton, with the falling apple, discerned what God... No, God showed him, because he was prophetic. But it was an apple falling on his head. And he goes like, Lord, why didn't that fall up? And God says, gravity. Well, what's gravity? And we all live in the benefit of knowing why we're planted on this earth. See, it's how he discerns. It's how we know. And it's a simple exercise sometimes. I can hear God in the middle of the traffic, on a plane. He wakes me up in the morning on planes all the time. Gives me revelation. He talks to me in the car, no, on planes, in the shower, and in bed. Planes, showers, and beds. And it's taken me years to figure out why that is. And this is one for the men, okay? It's the only time we're still. When I'm in bed, I'm in the shower, I'm on a plane. I'm a captive audience. I can't go anywhere. And God speaks to me. So I have my quiet time often between 5 and 7:30 a.m. every morning while I'm lying in bed. Because I'm a captive audience. And then if I drift back to sleep, I'll have dreams or God will speak to me. He spoke to me last week. Last Wednesday morning I woke up and said, Jacqueline, the Lord's just said, we're not to be moved by the need, we're to be moved by the Spirit. Something's going to happen back home in England that we need to be ready for. 48 hours later the phone rings. All out about need. And I'm like, oh yeah, you were right, Lord. I can't be moved by the need. I have to wait until the Spirit moves. And that's hard. But I know how I hear God. And so there's all these different ways. Some people just journal. They sit and meditate. I can't sit still long enough to meditate. Jacqueline likes peace and quiet, to sit still, to hear the voice of God. Some people journal. I don't. Unless it's a key revelation I know is coming, and then I'll just pen it down for a season. And so take time out. Probably even now I've said things and you're going like, that's why I've been giving you different illustrations, going like, yeah, that tends to be me, that tends to be me. Well, major on those. And explore them and mine them, and just until, and then what happens then is you get more and more confident in that you hear God, because you begin to get a few cases, one after the other, where you go, yes, that's right, yes, that's right, yes, that's right, yes, and then you're in the flow. And then you function in the office about the God and the anointing God's given you. So be ready in season and out of seasons, because I know how He hears me. And I'm ready to go at any one point. 4 o'clock in the morning on planes, God seems to wake me up all the time with key revelation. It's really nice when you're in economy because the seats are uncomfortable. When you're in business, you kind of like to sleep and enjoy the flat bed. But hey, God, just whenever. You know. By the way, when you go to sleep, your spirit's still awake. You can ask the Lord, Father, just speak to my spirit even while I sleep. Build up my spirit, man. And let deep call to deep, spirit to spirit, and flow and function. You'd be amazed what will happen. Be amazed what will happen. So I can't give you a definitive answer for you, Jane, exactly how He wants to speak to you, but it's us exploring it with Him.